Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the Fall 2017 semester's 4th edition of LTV News. Today's program will feature stories on TCNJ Homecoming 2017, Acapalooza, and a very special interview. Stay with us. From Kenzo Hall, I'm Kelsey Haines. Let's get started. To begin our show today, LTV News had the absolute privilege of speaking to longtime ABC News correspondent and giant in the world of journalism, John Quinones. Upon his visit to the college on October 31st, Quinones' long-running, hugely popular ABC show, What Would You Do?, is a hidden camera show that tests what ordinary people do when put in scenes of conflict. He came to the school in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, as he himself is of Mexican descent, and gave a powerful speech on what we do when we witness injustice, racism, bullying as an individual and as a nation in the Broward Student Center. The news veteran showed clips from his show and told of his amazing life story and humble beginnings in San Antonio, Texas. LTV's Jen Lowenberg interviewed Quiñones, asking him questions about the impact of What Would You Do and handling everyday injustices. Take it away, Jen.
Hi everybody, I'm Jen Lowenberg and I'm here with 35-year ABC News correspondent and host of ABC's What Would You Do?, John Quinones.
Very good.
Thank you for joining us, John.
It's good to be here. It's great to be here.
So to begin, why is it important to speak to college students about injustice, racism, and bullying? And why is TCNJ an important community to have this discussion with?
First of all, I'm glad to be back here because we film many of our scenarios in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Because it's so convenient to New York. So we go to every little town. I think I've been in every single diner in Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Filming our show. So it's great to be here and give something back. This is a great college. It's got a great reputation. And I love talking to students because these are very divisive times in America.
Yes, definitely.
In politics and with race issues and certainly religion. And if you're Muslim in this country, it's really bad. If you're Mexican, like I am Mexican-American, you know, all this talk about building walls and so I think it's important that we remind folks that this is a great country and that most people are loving and most people are not racist, and also to show them that we have work to do when it comes to dealing with these issues. We see it and we capture it on hidden camera on What Would You Do every week. We see how some people we still need to work on accepting others who are different from us. Now your generation and the college generation is better at it, thank God. I'm inspired by you guys because the world is smaller for you. You know, you thanks to the internet, you know gay people and Muslims and Mexicans. When I was growing up, you know, there was not a single gay person in my high school.
Oh, really?
Well, there was. Of course there was, but they couldn't come out. And that's the beauty of today's America, that we can be ourselves. We just need to remind ourselves, especially right now, given what's going on in politics, that we need to work on it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And not be so judgmental.
I agree. When you were in college, did you notice any injustice, racism, or bullying on your campus? And if so, how did you handle that?
There wasn't, in San Antonio, Texas, where I grew up, 60% of the population is Hispanic. Okay. So there were a lot of people, certainly in my community and my side of the tracks, that looked like me. And so in that sense, you didn't feel it in my immediate community or at my college, St. Mary's University. But if we ventured outside the boundaries of our neighborhoods to the north side of town, the wealthier side of town, then we could see a little bit of sort of, you know, you don't belong here attitude. I was the kid who wasn't expected to amount to much. I learned English as a second language when I was 6 years old. Up until then, I spoke only Spanish. So because of that, because of my accent and because of my dark skin, there was some measure of discrimination. Not as bad as it was for my father. You know, he remembered picking cotton in South Texas. And there were signs in restaurants, he would tell me, where there was a sign that says no Mexicans or dogs allowed in this restaurant. So it was really bad in his generation. With mine, it was more subtle. So I did see some of it, and we fought it by just ignoring ignoring it and looking the other way and turning the other cheek. And of course, it was also during the civil rights movement when I was growing up. So we staged protests to complain about situations that seemed unjust.
Yeah, that's interesting because you don't really hear much about the Mexican-American side of the story either.
No.
So it's very interesting to hear.
It's funny, I was born in Texas, and my 7 generations of my family born in Texas.
Yeah.
So, but still a Mexican-American. So people come up to me all the time and they'll say, John Quinones, you're Mexican-American. When did you cross the border? I mean, we've been there hundreds of years.
I've been here, yeah.
Texas was once part of Spain and Mexico. So I tell people I didn't cross the border crossed me.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Very interesting.
there's work to do.
Definitely.
Still.
What have been some of your most fascinating and telling situations that you set up on What Would You Do? And what do they say about us as Americans?
Oh, there have been some funny ones. There's some serious ones. I think generally what they say is that we're all a caring, good people, Americans are. I see the glass as half full. You know, do we have problems? Yeah, we do. But generally speaking, most people are not racist, and yet we all discriminate. And I do it too, and you do it. When we see something that might be troubling, we make judgments about that person based on the way they look and the way they're dressed and the accent in their voice, and God forbid they're wearing a turban or a kufi, and you make judgments. So we have to stop ourselves and think before we are so judgmental. But my favorite ones have been the ones that deal with race and religion. Probably the one where I went undercover myself and I posed as a Mexican day laborer, dressed down obviously, and pretended to go into a deli. I went into a deli and I wanted to order in Spanish. And the guy behind the counter is an actor, of course, a white guy who starts telling me, listen man, this is America, you gotta speak English to be here. We're building a wall to keep you out of here. So he was saying these ugly things. Yeah. And I was trying to order in Spanish, pretending, of course, to see what other people would say. And it was so inspiring to see people who came to my defense. For the most part, there were some who agreed with the racist and said, go to Taco Bell, John, or sir, go to Taco Bell, or maybe you should, go somewhere else. So that hurt, even though I knew we were acting. So that's one of my favorite ones that are serious and dealing with race. And I've broken the scene sometimes when I come out with the cameras in the open to divulge that this has all been part of a TV show. People will tell me the reason those who stepped in and did the right thing, when I interview them, they'll say the reason I did is because I watch your show. And I promised my kids that if I ever witnessed any kind of injustice, I would be the one to speak up.
That's awesome.
So it does have an impact.
Well, John, thank you so much for sitting down with us for LTV News.
I love being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very pleasure to meet you and do this interview.
All right.
For LTV News, I'm Jen Lowenberg. Back to you, Kelsey.
On Saturday, October 21st, a week of school pride activities, including a student government t-shirt swap and lip sync and dance competition, resulted in the premiere event of Spirit Week 2017's TCNJ Homecoming. Current TCNJ students reunited and mingled with returning alumni during a 7-hour tailgate session before, during, and after the TCNJ Lions took on Keene University in a football game. The tailgate in Lot 4 saw several organizations setting up tents and barbecuing food, while alumni reconnected with old TCNJ friends, received a free t-shirt, and walked around their alma mater, taking in all the recent changes to the campus. Some of the college's most talented performers, from the Troublemakers to TCNJ Musical Theater to the Mixed Signals, took the homecoming main stage throughout. Even after the tailgate, alumni still had a reason to stick around as a mini indoor carnival was put on at the rec center, with a mechanical bull, rock wall, and cotton candy and popcorn machines. Field hockey and men's soccer match followed, closing out a successful homecoming weekend. Friday, October 20th saw TCNJ's 4 a cappella groups, the Troublemakers, iTunes, Voice of Hope, and the Trentones, all coming together for the Trentone-hosted Acapalooza in the Mayo Concert Hall. Trentones member Michael Wrights told LTV, quote, "Acapalooza is a great opportunity for all the a cappella groups to come together and show off what they've been working on. And the group song at the end was fun because you get to sing on stage with people you normally wouldn't," end quote. LTV was able to capture footage from the event, so check out some excerpts from the group's performances. does it for this edition of LTV News. If you're interested in joining LTV, like us on Facebook or email us at ltv@tcnj.edu. From all of us here at Lions Television, I'm Kelsey Haines. See you next time.